And we are live coming at you with session 80 of our Drown Gods campaign. And let's go ahead and get started. As always, everyone, please reset your hero point pools to 1. And who would like to give the recap of last session for an extra hero point? All right, David.
Okay, so at the beginning of last session, we picked up off from having a Poi Pip check the door and Phoebe check the crack that Morgan was curious about. Neither had traps, so that was nice. Mono and Nui didn't trust a Poi Pip to have found magical traps, so Mono and Nui checked for that but couldn't find any, and Morgan decided that, being ambushed by fungal spirit monsters didn't sound very fun, so we decided to go through the front door.
Yeah, especially since
After,
the fungus room was full of spores, so it's like both fungus and whatever those spores would be doing to you.
yeah, definitely at very least hard to breathe that. And not
Yes.
to mention whatever horrible athlete's lung you get from breathing in fungus.
Exactly.
And so after that, we entered the front door and we saw probably what remains of the party who went in before us, while also hearing a rasping voice asking for help. We determined that although they had taken damage elsewhere, at least Mono and Nui did after examining them, they definitely died to the traps.
Yeah.
So that's at least a little bit of a comfort, as little as it is.
Hey, they set
After
off the
that,
traps for you, so it's one less thing you have to worry about.
I know, as Phoebe so rudely put, the idiots that came in before us set off the traps, so we don't have to worry about it.
Right?
After that, Morgrim going forwards to investigate the voice found part of the party of the aforementioned idiots. Riven on the floor and went in to help. We're curious why he was freaking out, and of course he's dying, bleeding out on the floor, so Morgrim had a Poi Pip cast Stabilize on him. After that, Riven started to clear up, and as he was going to tell us to get out of here, a door burst open, and a small group of guys just looking to have some fun came in. That's totally what was happening.
Yeah.
After that, the fight started. We did a very good first round, especially with Akalupu dealing a massive hit to one of the strange contraptions.
Yeah, it was like 50 plus
And
damage in one hit, which is ridiculous.
yeah, people, generally engaged. A certain mage got a little too close, even
Hey,
though they dealt some.
Mono Nui had a new spell. She had to try it out somehow.
I know, dealt some good damage, but definitely got a little too close considering in the following round they got hurt and grabbed by the machine. And I believe in that round as well, Akalupu and Morgrim got picked up by machines as well.
Yeah.
They managed to break out from the machine. I believe Mono Inui chose to cast a Shocking Grasp rather than break out. I think Mono Inui at least did something while grappled that wasn't getting out of the grapple.
Yeah. No, Mono Nui decided to go for the damage rather than to escape.
Mono Inui, as you might imagine, most things with a grapple, soon regretted that action as they began to have a rather large amount of trying to think of a term for it. I keep going to rotting or decomposing, but that's not right for me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, sours.
Yeah, Smokeside Sour is technically the name of the beer that was being pumped in.
Yeah, some sour beer, which of course, that's not pleasant in any way, having at least a gallon of sour ale pumped into you. After that, I believe Mako threw some potions around, managing to heal Mono Inui with it, but also missed a few that scattered around and I believe hurt Mako and others.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think it was super successful.
I mean, technically it was. You got you got it like 2 kills, I think, with those.
Yeah.
It was successful, just not precise.
Exactly.
True. Very true.
You know, the carpet bombing is an effective tactic.
I do love me a cluster bomb. This is true. Um, After that, I believe as Morgrim and Akalupu fought the strange contraptions down, Apoipip was desperately trying to keep the grappled Mono Inui alive. It didn't take us too long to kill everything off after that, and I think that's where we ended.
Yep. That is indeed where we ended. So great recap. Kind of cheating because David and I were actually just listening to the last session earlier. That's why I called on him. But still.
But to counter that, we did miss the middle, and I still did a good job of recapping the middle of that session.
Fair enough. Yeah, definitely a good recap. Go ahead and give yourself a hero point, and we will pick up from there. So all of the
It's definitely not cheating to study. You know what I mean? Like
True.
we all have access to that all the time, so
Yep. Even though it's honestly, it's kind of good that you guys don't usually watch it, and if you do watch it, I would ask listen to it. Don't watch it. There are so many spoilers because you're seeing my screen. But yeah. Anyway, we will go ahead and pick up from there. The last of the enemies falls dead, and the you know, very short-lived but intense scrum, and the sounds of metal clanging and gears whirring and all of that grow quiet, and leaving you only with the sounds of your own ragged breathing, and a much less unpleasant sound as Mono Inui, you are dropped onto the ground, and with a good amount, probably around 3 liters worth of this smoke side sour that was pumped into your stomach is now eagerly attempting to escape as you are retching and heaving on the floor.
So something I would like to do is is the door that they came through currently closed, or is it supposed to be open?
It is currently open. That's how they came
Okay.
through it. They did not politely close the door behind themselves.
Okay, Morgrim is gonna start to run over to close it.
All right. So you're just gonna run over there and close it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, move yourself over there. You can click on it to close it. As you are doing so, you do get a quick glimpse into the room ahead of you. You can see that it is a large rectangular room with a series of double pillars, and there appears to be some sort of either painting or collage or other artwork along the wall.
Okay, probably gonna have to roll a strength for this, but I'd like to drag one of the contraptions in the way of the. Which way does the door open, actually?
The door would open. Let's see, outward, so toward you.
Okay, so Morgrim is gonna drag one of the machines and put it in front of it and sit on top of it just to make sure nothing comes through that door.
Okay. We'll just assume, given enough time, you will be able to accomplish that. So you can do that. I will move the thing over. Meanwhile, Mono Inui, you are not having a great time.
Or I'm having the best of times.
That's true. You are currently not having a great time, though, because you are puking all over your hands as you are on all fours on the ground, and there is no one there to hold your hair for you.
Can I make a will or fortitude save to see if I can't hold it down?
Yes, you may make a fortitude save. In fact, you're going to
So-
need to make one regardless to see how this is affecting you.
Sweet. 16.
All right. So you are after probably upchucking about half of it, you're able to kind of like force yourself to hold back, And yeah, you are though, however, being quickly affected by all of this alcohol in your stomach. You are now clumsy 1 and stupefied 1. So
Was it at least tasty?
no, it had clearly gone bad. It was
He goes,
nasty.
no.
So you should already be clumsy 1, so you just need to add stupefied 1. Which, let's see, what's that gonna do for you? Your thoughts and instinct are clouded. Stupefied always has a value, blah, blah, blah. You take a status penalty equal to this value on intelligence, wisdom, charisma-based checks, and DCs, including will saves, spell attack modifiers, spell DCs, and skill checks that use these attribute modifiers. Anytime you attempt to cast a spell while stupefied, the spell is disrupted unless you succeed at a flat check with a DC equal to 5 plus your stupefied value. That's not terrible. So that's like a DC 6 to be able to cast a spell at this point.
So I'd roll that before I cast the spell, correct?
Correct. Well, technically you would tell me which spell you're going to cast, then roll it, and if you failed, you would lose the spell slot, but no spell would come out.
Sweet.
Okay.
To be honest, it might be better if you got the rest of that out of your stomach rather than trying to keep it in. But that is
Mono
entirely
really
up to you.
Ain't no little bitch. She can hold her ale.
Exactly.
Freshman year of college type decision.
Yeah, so there is like this sour smelling spoiled ale that is sprayed across a large section of the room from both of these machines, as well as the scent of vomit from Mono Anui herself. So it is rather unpleasant in here at this moment. Plus the smell of the corpses that Mako is standing right by, and all of that blood. So
Okay, so
I vote we
Morgan-
leave this room. I'm
Okay.
like, can we get out of here?
Are we going to take a break first to get our stamina back, or
And should we check on Riven?
you probably
This is
should.
true.
Riven is sitting over in the corner. He seems to have passed out. He is stable at this point, but he seems to be unconscious if you go over and check on him.
Mono Anui is just going to prop herself up next to the carcass of this machine and just kind of sit there for a while.
You know,
Watch the world spin a little bit.
punch it a few times, be like, look who won.
I was dead now, you dreaded machine.
Morgan's going to take this time to use his quick repair to repair his shield?
All right. Did you bring materials with you?
Yeah, Morgan was planning to make repairs to his shield during this time.
Okay, make sure you have something to represent that bulk. We'll say probably each repair is 1 light bulk, so if you want to give yourself some number of repair material kits or whatever you want to represent it with, and then make each of them a light bulk.
I'll go ahead and do that, but first I'm just going to go ahead and get this repair check out of the way.
Cool.
What would you say would be the DC to craft this
15.
item? Okay.
Or at least for the repairs, we're just going to go with a 15 for now.
Yeah.
Is Mono Anui still hurt?
Okay, so that is a critical success on the repair. Not that it matters much. It basically just means it's back up to full health.
Mono Anui has all of her stamina. I'm sorry, all of her hit points. Just none of her stamina.
Cool.
Jason, I think you should go check on Riven since you're like healer, kind of. I don't know.
Well, I stabilized them. If they're unconscious, I guess I could heal them. Okay, fine. So, can I do a medicine check to see if he's gonna be all right?
Yeah, go for it. In fact, you can do a medicine check to do field medicine, and that should heal him depending on how well you roll.
So I rolled a 1.
Okay.
I
So,
don't know if I should use a hero point for that because this
You
dude's
killed
not even in
him.
our party.
so it depends. If you were trying to heal him, then technically you've done damage to him, which won't kill him. It'll just put him in the dying state again, and you would need to stabilize
And then
him.
I could cast Stabilize again.
Yeah. If you weren't intending to heal him and you were only checking, then you're just going to get like very useless information on his status.
There appears to be blood
I
coming
blame
from him.
Midnight because he's in my normal dice rolling spot, so I had to use Hero Lab, and everyone knows never to use Hero Lab to roll dice.
There you go.
But I actually wasn't trying to heal him yet. I was just trying to see if he's gonna be all right. So
All
now
right.
I just have no idea if he's
Yeah,
all
so
right.
he's clearly wounded. He doesn't seem to be bleeding a bunch, but otherwise, he could be dying in 10 minutes or 20 years. You have no idea.
All right, everyone. This man could be dead. I have no idea. What should we do about him?
I think you should plug him up.
Yeah, like, what are we even
Plug
gonna
in.
do with this dying guy? Like, isn't it like a 2-day hike back to the town? We should just put him out of his misery. Just joking. I didn't really say that.
I think we should leave him behind. He'll only slow us down.
All right, the grown-ups are talking right now.
Yeah. If you want to use another healing check to actually try and heal him and hopefully roll better, you can do that. If anyone has a health potion, you could cast a healing spell on him. You could cast a healing spell with an emanation and heal up a bunch of people, and I'm sure Manawanui would be fine.
Yeah, here's the thing. If he dies, then he'll probably come back and fight us as undead, is my guess. Because this pyramid be like.
Maybe true.
I think I will try and do I have a special ability called Treat Wounds. It says you spend 10 minutes treating one injured living creature. Medicine check DC is usually 15. And if you succeed, you can continue treating the target to grant additional healing. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to throw my dice at my cat so that I don't get a nat 1.
Sounds like a plan.
And I got a 16 on the DC check. That was close.
Nice. All right, so you do heal him. What was it?
And success.
1d6, 1d8?
The target regains 2d8 hit points and
Nice.
loses the wounded condition.
All right. So you get in there, you patch him up against the suggestions from the captain. And everyone else, since this is going to take 10 minutes, do people want to take a 15-minute rest and spend a resolve point to recover your stamina?
Yes, please.
All right. Anyone who would like to spend a resolve point to recover their stamina may now do so.
So that means I can't rest because I'm healing.
Correct. But if you need to, you can do it after healing, because, depending on how long you want to stay in this room. So we're going to assume 15 minutes for now. Go ahead.
Does it matter what my 2d8 came out to, or is
No.
he just doing better?
Yeah, no, as long as you're over 1 hit point, you count as being fine, basically, according to Pathfinder rules.
So now he can fend for himself, hopefully.
Yeah, so after a couple minutes, he kind of blinks and his breathing grows stronger, and he opens up his eyes and he goes, "Oh, thank goodness you survived. I tried to
Thank
warn
goodness
you.
you survived.
Indeed, I must thank you profusely for this kindness." And he looks over and sees the rest of his group, and he just kind of like shudders. Unfortunate.
So, are you planning to stay here?
Oh, gods, no. No, I'm getting out of here. God's forsaken pyramid, traps everywhere, fire coming from the walls, undead coming out of every nook and cranny. Eventually, we were forced to flee, but well, you can see what that led to. And he once again gestures toward the group. I
Well, you're
suppose the
safe
only thing
now.
that saved my life was that I was in the back of the group. I only got clipped by a couple of arrows.
Arrows? What was shooting arrows?
No,
at you?
that's like, buddy.
The walls, I think, honestly. It was hard to tell with everything happening at once. There were spikes coming from the ground, arrows shooting all around, undead behind us. I have no idea why they didn't just finish me off. I suppose they figured I would bleed out eventually.
We'll have to be on the lookout for traps.
Yes, traps everywhere. And many of them seem to reset themselves automatically, so even if you've set them off, you can't trust them to stay that way.
Phoebe, you hear that? Extra careful with the traps.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Sir.
All right, well, I really can't thank you enough for saving me, but I don't want to stay in here 1 minute longer than absolutely necessary. If you don't mind, I'll leave now. Hopefully, I'll see you again back at the village. You could come with me, as I really don't know if it's worth it.
We must continue our quests. We will conquer the pyramid. Godspeed, and let the others know that we will be back soon.
I will be praying for you. I hope you do succeed. And so he coughs a few times, and then limping only
I have
slightly.
a question for Riven. Wait, before
Okay.
you go.
Yes.
You said that you had to retreat. So does that mean that you've been to a room that's not this one?
Yes. Yes, we made
Anything that you can tell us about maybe the next room or
it.
the future of this, adventure that would maybe help us?
I can tell you that this entire pyramid is a carking death trap. Beyond that, what few details I can give you, this door here, and he points to his right, your left, right here where I'm pinging, leads into some sort of room full of these strange towers crackling with magical energies. And then further on, we went through a hallway and another door, and then there was a room just filled with fire everywhere. I really don't know beyond that what more detail I can give, though.
That's great, Riven. Thank you so much.
Yes, no, anything I can do. Thank you all so much again. I don't know. I may spend some time here, try to get some of these bodies out for a burial, but I'm afraid that the undead will come back at any moment. Perhaps it would be wiser if I were to flee.
Morgrim is going.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so I assume by now, since it only takes Morgrim 1 minute to repair his shield, he's done at this point.
Yeah, you'd be done by now. I mean, it was 10 minutes for Riven to get healed in the first place. Speaking of which,
That's true.
We'll just assume that there's been time if you want to also take your rest as well, Ip, and get your stamina back.
Excellent. And I spend a resolve point, correct?
Correct.
Morgrim is going to hop down from atop the machine, or at least I assume, considering its size, the central
yeah.
body's big enough.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some
Um,
hopping involved in that.
Yeah. And he'll look at Riven and say, "Aye, lad, get yourself back to town, and when we're back, drinks will be on me. You understand?"
Yes, thank you, Morgrim. You were always a good egg. And so he heads out with one last very soulful look back at his former comrades, and then with a bit of a quiver in his whiskers, and perhaps a hidden tear going down into the fur on his cheeks, he exits. Boom. All right, back to you all in the stinky room.
Well,
Let's get another fortitude check from Mono Anui, actually. It's been long enough. That
Mr.
15-minute
GM,
rest.
how do I rest without doing the
16
full night's
again.
rest?
Instead of resting, click on your health, and then on stamina, just like click on that and then recover it by some amount to where it's full again.
Oh, so it's just full stamina recovery for one resolve point?
Yes. Yeah, so
Okay.
the way that the stamina system works is it's kind of like a overhealth shield. Like imagine the shield from like Halo, where your stamina is smaller bits of incidental damage that you can generally shrug off as long as you have a few minutes to catch your breath. And then hit points are damage that actually is starting to affect you more seriously. So
Right. But then the resolve point doesn't reset my cast spells.
correct.
Cool.
Yeah, you don't get any of your spells reset, and so anything that requires a long rest, so a full 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep, that you do not reset. Well, I guess for you it's 4 hours. The short rest is just to recover your stamina.
Cool. Thank you.
No worries. All right, Mono Anui.
16 again.
16. All right. Let's see. What is stage 3? All right. You are now clumsy 2, stupefied 2, and sickened. So, sickened. You can't willingly ingest anything, including elixirs, potions while sickened. You can spend a single action retching in an attempt to recover, which lets you immediately attempt a fortitude save against the DC of the effect that made you sickened. On a success, you reduce the sickened value by 1 or by 2 on a critical success. So you can attempt, if you want to try and, vomit the rest of it up, you can do that. Otherwise, you can feel that it is starting to reduce in effect slightly. You would guesstimate that the maximum duration is 1 hour. So after an hour, the effect will end regardless.
Nice.
All right, well, what's the plan? He's gonna sit in the stink room?
Well, Mono Anui, feeling a bit more emboldened, is going to stand up and say, "It's quite convenient that our friend there wasn't finished off. No one else thinks that's a bit suspicious?"
No, not really.
A bunch of trusting, naive children. With that, she's going to start to walk towards this door.
All right, so It is currently blocked by one of the strange contraptions, so it will need to be pushed out of the way before the door can be opened.
Nah, she's gonna try and clamber over it.
All right, you clamber on top of it. Give me give me athletics.
Athletics.
Yeah, athletics is fine.
Sweet. I got an 18.
All right. So that is reduced by 2 for your clumsy, so that's actually a 16. You wobble a bit, but you manage to get on top of the contraption.
Nice. I'm going for that door, man. I'm gonna try and open it.
All right. The door opens inward, so it cannot be opened while the contraption is in the way. Or outward, I guess, from your perspective. Well, inward from your perspective, outward from the inside perspective. But that's why Morgrim pushed the thing in the way in the first place, was to block the door.
Mono Nui wasn't watching. Mono Nui was watching the floor.
Yep.
She's going to clamber off of it and try and open. Try and push the thing out of the way.
Good. Give me a strength check.
Alrighty, come on, Mono Nui. Where's my strength? Nope, that's stealth. I can sneakily push it. Where's my strength? I got a +0. Nice. 17. Look at that.
All right, your drunken clumsiness allows you to just basically like fling yourself at it without any regard for your own well-being.
Nice.
And let's see. You roll 1d4. Oof. Okay, you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, but you do in fact move the thing out of the way.
Nice.
Ip, I assume that you move out of the way so that you are not crushed as it rolls over you.
Nope, I'm crushed. That's it for me.
All right, let's roll 1d6. Let's see how much damage you take. Actually, no, it's rolling on top of you. Do 1d6 is fine. All right, you also take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing comes rolling over on top of you.
Ow! Manawanui, what are you doing?
We're moving on. This room smells too much like sour ale, and trust me, good sir, I've had quite enough of that.
Right, it's gonna be one of those things where
from underneath the machine.
Nice. It's gonna be one of those things where for like years afterwards you can't stand the taste of sour ale just because you had this one bad experience.
A little traumatized.
Absolutely. All right, now with that out of the way, you try the doors once again and they swing outward easily enough.
All right. I see we have had a little party gathered by the door. I'm gonna walk in.
All right.
Should we check for traps first, since
I don't know. He's not thinking about that.
okay. It reaches out to try and grab Manawanui before she steps through the door.
If he grabs me, I'm gonna like kind of like go with the left side of my body, but kind of like jerk myself back. I'm like, whoa.
All right. So you are able to stop Manawanui as she's only about 5 feet into the inside of the door.
Morgrim will turn to Phoebe and say, "Lass, your time is here," as he motions to the room.
Working on it.
Oh. Did anyone loot the bodies?
Oh, no one has looted the bodies yet.
Does anyone want to loot the bodies?
That's something usually Manawanui would do, but since she is impaired, she will.
Loot the bodies.
All right. Is someone ready to note down the gear that you get? I'll also put it in chat for you, make it a little easier.
Morgrim would also like to take a look at the material the constructs and the living armor is made out of.
Okay. We'll assume that you guys did this during the 15-minute rest. So we'll get this out of the way pretty quick. So you looting their bodies, you find a skeleton key, a bomber's eye elixir lesser, a life shot lesser, and ooze ammunition moderate. I put that in chat. So whoever is picking up that loot, presumably either Akalupu or Morgrim, you are definitely the two best pack horses. Make sure you note that down and figure out who is getting it. That is important to establish so that we don't have two
I'm
copies.
just gonna leave it for Akalupu.
All right, Akalupu, are you good adding that stuff to your inventory?
Yep.
All right, you should be able to find all of those, but if you have difficulty, let me know.
Should Mako get the bomber's eye elixir?
I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah, I already have some, so I was like, oh, it should be easy to just have 3 instead of having 2, but
All right.
nothing about Hero Lab is easy for me.
Right. Especially today. It's a struggle. Oh, speaking of which, the stage is back for me at least, so that's awesome.
Yeah, same.
Nice.
Huzzah.
Okay, if we hit another combat, that's going to be big. All right.
I got a nat 20 with a total of 30.
All right. Well, first we need to do Morgrim examining the strange contraptions. Looking at them, they are mostly metals you recognize. They seem to be made out of mostly metal and wood. The metal parts are mostly copper and bronze. And they seem to be worked with incredibly complex clockwork mechanisms that even as a dwarf are beyond your capability to fully understand without spending a great deal of time examining them. But these are made with craftsmanship beyond what your kin are capable of.
Let me roll a crafting real quick. With a 20, would I be able to identify a chunk I could remove without ruining the clockwork mechanisms?
Not on the mechanisms. You could take some of the extraneous parts of them if you just want the materials, but the mechanisms are so intertwined that there's no way to take part without ruining it.
Okay, I was just gonna see if I could get some of this to study for later, so that looks like no. Okay, so how about the armor?
The armor? Clearly magic. It's magic elf stuff.
Okay, so just like not metal I'm not used to or anything?
And you are talking about the animated armor suits that we're attacking, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, no, these seem to be familiar. They look like iron,
Okay.
but they're being animated is clearly, like I said, magic elf stuff.
Yeah, mostly just taking a interested look at the materials.
Yeah. All right, Phoebe, 30 on your perception check to check for traps. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You look around the room. Actually, I should be rolling those for you. I'll let you do it this time, but whenever you're checking for traps, that's something I roll so that you don't just go, oh, I got a nat 20. I definitely know for sure that it's correct what information I'm being given. Gives you some unfortunate metagaming abilities. But in this case, I'll let it go. It's fine. But you don't detect any traps.
Okay.
Or enemies either. It does not seem like anyone is, hiding behind the pillars, getting ready to jump out and spook you.
Okay.
So Morgrim's gonna go into the next room. What does he see in here?
Next room meaning...
The one that
This room?
Mono and Nude's... Yeah.
Okay. I assume, Ip, now that Phoebe has given the all clear, you also release Mono Anui's shoulder and allow her to resume going in? Or no? Is Ip just like, no one gets to go in?
This is... I don't know.
All right, so going inside, you can see that this room is a rather expansive one with 4 pillars holding up the roof. There is a door on the opposite side as well that seems to lead further into the pyramid. Along the walls are a series of murals that are richly decorated and very artistically drawn in a way that is kind of compelling, especially to you, Morgrim. It's not dwarven, certainly. The style is very different, but it has a similar rugged kind of like angularity to it that is reminiscent to dwarven art style.
Okay, so using that familiarity, how long do you think it'd take me to get like a rough sketch of this down?
Hours. Unless you're
Okay,
literally just drawing like a quick little stick figure representation of it. But the entirety of the walls of this room are covered in these massive murals that reach up a good 10 to 12 feet into the air from floor to ceiling.
Okay, so Morgan's just gonna scan it for anything of interest.
All right.
Does anything look like places that might be in the pyramid, or does anything look like it's depicting the pyramid?
Oh yes.
Anything
No,
about
there's
this mysterious Cotton Cole who's in charge of it?
Oh yeah, there is some interesting information here as you start examining the murals. You do see that it seems to be telling some sort of a story as they go in a chronological order. If you start by the door here and work your way around the room in a clockwise direction. Let's see, what would you roll? Well, I'll tell you what you generally get, and then if you want to try and derive more information from what you're seeing, it would require a roll. So the series of constellations seem to go through multiple phases, like I said, chronologically. The very first one is a tree-like constellation that you, at least Manawanui, you would recognize this even in your current drunken stupor as being what you've seen in the sky on the day that you and your old friends reached adulthood. Morgrim, you would also recognize it, certainly, though under a different name. But this would be, I forget what you called it as the dwarves, but the Great Mother.
Yeah.
What was that?
The Great Sculptor. That's what the dwarves
Yeah,
call
Great
her.
Sculptor. Yeah, so you recognize this as being a representation clearly of the Great Sculptor. It's a constellation that, shows up in the sky. All civilizations seem to have some representation of it or another. Going further around the room past the tree-like constellation, you see a large sphere, which is blank and empty, dark inside with a corona around the outside. Next up, you see the same sphere depicted again, but this time there are oceans and islands, and you can see the beginnings of some sort of potentially animals or plants or some sort of life being depicted on it, as there are now more colors. There are the blues of the ocean, the greens of plants, and various other colors. Along the outside rim, you also see the depictions of creatures, mostly animals. And then continuing around, you see this sphere continuing to change and evolve as it goes around the room. Plants are growing on the islands. Basic life forms are being depicted. You are seeing creatures that look like humans and elves and other creatures. Strangely enough, one thing you may notice is missing. You probably wouldn't think about this, but perhaps someone in the rest of the group would. Of the more sophisticated life forms that are being shown, there seems to be a notable lack of aquatic species such as dolphin and the merfolk. And yeah, that is it. The rest of it, continuing around the room, is just this slow evolution of this sphere as life blooms upon it.
So, Morgrim is gonna go in slight disappointment at the lack of dwarves, but
Dwarves
other
were
than
shown.
that, it would have been funny if dwarves weren't.
Well, then, just
Anyway.
because of that, dwarves were not shown.
Or at least not anyone short enough for Morgrim to think that they were a dwarf.
Yeah, no, there was like, this pink-haired little short creature that looked more like a halfling or a gnome, but no chonky dwarves.
Yep. And, yeah, Morgrim's taking a look at what he wants to see. So what has everybody else been doing in this time?
I'm tiptoeing and hyper aware of every tile that I step on.
Now, are you going to take advantage of your blessed sight? Because that's something you have to choose to have active. And it is definitely significantly less effective in bright environs like it is right now, especially since you cast light on the tip of your horn.
I'm gonna wait.
All right. Yeah, as you are wandering around the room, it does not appear that any traps. There's nobody falls through a trap door in the floor. No arrows come shooting out of the walls. There are some signs of the creatures that were hiding in here before they ambushed you. But otherwise, the room seems pretty pristine. Aside from the few kind of like leaked bits of that sour ale. But not anywhere near as strong as it is in the other room.
Much to Mono Anui's shudderment.
Oh, yeah.
I see there's a door directly in front of us. Can I roll perception to see if I see any other signs of life or activity in any other direction?
Sure.
$29.
All right. You do not notice anything other than your party that seems to be alive in this room.
Cool. I guess we should check out this door then.
Yeah. So, Morgrim's gonna walk walk close to the door, but not quite up to it, and kind of turn at Phoebe and go, "Oi, Phoebe," and point at the door.
All right. Phoebe, are you gonna
So I
examine
need
the
to
door?
multiple- Okay, examine it, yeah.
Okay. What is your perception bonus? Actually, I can just find that real quick. 10.
against-
Okay.
Yeah, against trap.
All right. You examine the door and you are fairly confident that it is not trapped.
Ulgrim, from what I can tell, it's not trapped.
She says,
Okay, so
not being the one to open the door and potentially trigger the trap.
Alright, I open it. I just wasn't sure if I had permission to open it.
Yeah, no, you do have to ask first. I just thought it would be funny if you were standing back just in case you were wrong. All right, you open the door. It opens up to a room rather similar to the one that you were just in. The pillars seem to be offset just slightly differently, but the walls are once again covered in massive murals from floor to ceiling. And there is also a rather large and out of place looking painting hung upon the wall. The rest of it is a mural on the wall itself, but there is a painting of a rabbit that is hung upon the wall on the very back across from you guys, that has a gilt shining golden frame.
Morgan's gonna go up and use his crafting to see if there's anything special about this.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
I got a 20.
All right. It is extremely fine scroll work across the golden frame, and it is real gold.
Nice.
It is, however, heavy. If you kind of like push it around just a little bit, but gold is very heavy.
Something tells me we shouldn't take the gold from the cursed tomb.
Take the gold.
Is that actually a picture of a bunny?
It is, in fact, a picture of a bunny.
Nice.
Would you guys
We
like
should
to
take it.
examine the murals?
Morgan is gonna, after he, admires the goldsmithing on the frame, is gonna take a look at the murals and see what he can find.
All right. So, in a very in the same exact style as the previous room, the murals are once again spread a lot across in chronological order. You can see in the very beginning, just to the left side of the door, there is a small a pyramid that appears to be smaller than the one that you are currently in, landing on an island that looks eerily familiar to the one that you are currently on. However, the pyramid, instead of having 4 layers, seems to only have 3 layers. You can then see in the following section undead servants and scaffolding across the bottom of the pyramid as another section is built, making the pyramid larger and now representing the one that you are currently in. You can see after that the similar depiction of the world, except now it is even more lush. And following on are these. And I should say the island itself is rather bare. There's no depictions of any sort of villages or any intelligent life on it. So after the world, but looking even more lush again, there are abstract representations of cities and civilizations with the same constellation from before, this tree-like constellation, seemingly hovering over them as though looking over them. And then the very final section is blank.
And, so Morgrim's gonna go to the one where it shows the pyramid landing, and he's gonna look deep in thought between that one and the next mural for a little bit.
Okay. So, Manawanui, that golden bunny picture is really looking kind of shiny right now. You broke up after the word "I'm," so if you're talking, I think we're missing you.
Oh, lol. Instead of unmuting myself, I muted myself. Manawanui has very much less impulse control than she did before. So she's gonna go up and she's gonna touch the picture. She's gonna kind of touch the side of it.
All right. It feels smooth, cool, and pleasant against your skin at the moment, especially given your drunken state. It feels very nice against your skin. Smooth and cool and
I'm gonna try and pick it up.
All right. You attempt to lift it, and it is heavy. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
All right, let me see. Let's see. Strength +0 still. Oh my gosh, I got a nat 1.
All right. You lift it off of the hook and then immediately start losing your balance, and it is falling over on top of you. And unfortunately, your bodyguard has remained back in the stink room, so You
Sad
are on
day.
your own because Phoebe can't catch it. So Akalupu, after getting distracted, stargazing or whatever you were doing back there, you enter the room to see the Monowanui falling over backward as this massive golden painting flops over top of her, burying her under its, thankfully not the frame, which would have hurt, but instead she is underneath the canvas. And you can hear muffled cries of displeasure.
That's the muffled cries.
Akalupu's gonna rush forward and get Akalupu out from under. Or
She's gonna get Akalupu out.
Monowanui.
All right, Akalupu has it's heavy, but certainly, especially given the adrenaline of the moment, it is not particularly difficult for Akalupu to lift the frame and get Monowanui free. However, the picture of the rabbit is thoroughly ruined.
Was it like wet paint, or is it like just because like the canvas is messed up?
Yeah, you messed up the canvas.
Okay, that'd have been. I was gonna say, oh, wet paint. It's fresh.
No.
We're on the trail. No, Monowanui is going to be a little sad that that beautiful, beautiful bunny picture got messed up. But c'est la vie.
Yep. Oh, there's the bunny picture.
Well, it was a pretty picture.
And there's no like giant boulder that's suddenly coming out of the ceiling.
Nope. At least it does not appear to be so at the moment.
I don't see any way out of this room.
That is correct. Other than the entrance that you came in through, there does not seem to be any other exits.
And did we check behind the frame?
You can now. It's been pulled off the wall.
So is there a hole back there?
Looking behind where the frame was, you can see a wedge that was rather crudely driven into the mural, the wall of the mural, and the frame seems to have just been covering a random spot on the mural, but there is no hole other than that.
What spot on the mural could be a clue?
It would have been part of the section where the world was depicted a second time, but now more lush and vibrant than before. But no, you don't see anything meaningful about it.
Interesting. I guess we have
Akalupu
to
is going
backtrack.
to knock on the wall right there.
All right. It is solid stone.
Ow.
It barely reverberates at all. There's a slight echoing kind of hollowness. But as you knock on other parts of the wall, they all seem to have a similar acoustic profile.
Good to know.
I seem to recall seeing a door in the room where we fought.
Yeah, the Riven told us about the door, and
Yes.
Thomas clicked on it.
In
So she
fact,
pointed out to us.
in fact, there are 5 doors in the room where you fought. There's the entrance into the pyramid, which you came through. There is the door that you just walked through to start going into the mural rooms. There are 2 doors to the left and 1 door to the right.
So there you go. We just picked one that was a dead end, but that makes sense. they can't all just infinitely branch out.
Just make the whole
We
thing
did just
a
get a
spiral.
skeleton key, which makes me feel like the locked door is the one to go through. That's where you find treasure chests.
I feel like Mario rules, like we should that's probably the right way to go. So we should go to all the other places first
It's
to
fair.
find all the secrets and get all the loot.
It's a good point.
Well, we do have somewhat of an idea of what lies through the door on the right.
Correct. In fact,
that was
you,
the one where Ruben
Morgrim,
went through.
that's also the way that you went with your party. Is you took that door here to the right, and then you went down. That was where the storeroom was, and then over to where the mushroom room is. And that's where you blasted your way out of the pyramid. Was in what is now the mushroom room.
So,
We don't want the
More-
mushroom room.
Morgrim's going to kind of get Phoebe's attention. I don't know whether she followed us heading back out to the first room we entered or not. And get her to examine the door on the right.
All right, Phoebe, you doing a perception check on that?
This one?
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
full step check.
As far as you are able to tell, it does not seem trapped. Ip, are you checking out that door by you?
Yeah.
Alrighty. You doing a
First-
perception check on it? You're gonna try to open it, see if it's locked? What are you doing?
First, I want to try and see if I can see anything that might be a cause for alarm. And then I want to like put my ear up to it and listen to see if I can hear what's on the other side.
Okay, so you're doing a perception check first?
Yeah.
Alright, what is your perception bonus?
Oh, right. I don't roll it. It's plus 13.
Alright. Okay. It does not appear to be trapped.
Okay, so let's listen now.
Okay. So you're putting your ear up to the doorknob to try and hear, or what are you doing?
Yeah, is there like a keyhole or some sort of way to listen through? If not, then I'll just put my ear up to the door.
Yeah, there is a latch and a keyhole, so if you want to, you can either peek or listen through the keyhole.
Listen through the keyhole.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a reflex save.
Oh my goodness. 30.
All right. You are thankfully going to take half damage as an explosion of force. So not like a fiery explosion, but more like it feels like someone just slammed you right in the ear with a sledgehammer randomly. You are going to take 24 points of damage as you are sent flying.
24 was half?
Oh wait, sorry, that's full. 12 points of
Okay.
damage. Thank you for catching that. My bad. Sorry. 24 is full. So 12 points of damage as you are sent flying 10 feet away from the door. And there is a loud ringing in your ears as you are now deafened.
Oh my god. Is that a condition? Should I put that on myself?
I believe that's a condition. It's not technically
Guys, this
on the
door
trap,
hurts.
but because you just like put your ear to it, I feel like it has to be. Let's see. Conditions. Deafened, yes. So you are now deafened 2.
Oh, no, I'm not doomed. I'm deafened.
Yeah, very different things.
You automatically crit fail perception checks that require you to be able to hear.
Fun.
But I'm immune to auditory effects, so joke's on you guys.
Exactly.
So
All
if
right,
he's immune
everyone
to
just
auto-
saw Akalupu get thrown across the room. Stop opening doors without asking, Faye.
Sorry.
Sneaking.
Okay. Morgrim's gonna rush over, make sure he's not like super wounded or anything, and he's going to
He's currently giving you like a dead fish open mouth look, and there is blood trickling from his ear.
So Morgrim's gonna just give him a light shake and say, "Can you hear me, lad?"
Give me a fortitude check, Ip.
Fortitude 27.
Okay. You can reduce it to deafened 1, and even though Morgrim has to shout, I assume you're shouting. If not, he can't hear you. If you do shout, eventually he can make out just barely what you're saying.
Yeah, Morgrim is shouting. He's considering the blood from his ear. He's figuring he's having some hearing troubles.
I point to my good ear, and I turn my head so that's facing Morgrim.
Yeah. So it's there's still this loud ringing in your ears, and it sounds as if Morgrim is yelling at you from another room, but you are just barely able to understand him.
I yell back, "Yes, I could barely hear you."
So Morgrim is going to look relieved and turn to the rest of the group and say, "I don't know if we should move on while he's like this."
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
I wasn't yelling that. You can't hear me.
Oh, fair enough.
Strangely enough, you actually can hear him. But similar to your blessed vision, where you're seeing it, but not with your eyes. If you remember, even when you closed your eyes, you were able to still see these ghostly outlines. You can hear him, but it's not coming from your ears. It's like he's speaking straight into your brain.
Whoa. Okay, so I still yell that.
So Morgrim, a little confused, gonna turn back and be like, "Are you fine now?" Question mark.
Exclamation point. Totally fine. Thumbs up. Double thumbs up. Who's got
So-
2 thumbs and can hear? This guy.
Morgrim, more than a little confused, is gonna stand up and be like, "I guess we're fine."
I would advise staying away from that door. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I could use my special sight to maybe see through the door? Question mark. We're gonna try it. I want to look at this door with my special eyes.
Okay, so you kind of focus for a moment, and you see the outlines kind of glimmer before your eyes a little bit, but it is too bright in this room. It is difficult to really make out any detail.
Sad.
You could turn off your light and ask everyone to, please go somewhere else.
But that would mean telling everybody about my gift.
True.
Otherwise, they would be suspicious. Morgrim is already suspicious.
Fair.
Yeah, you suddenly being able to hear now is very weird.
So do we want? I would say let's avoid that door and maybe check out the locked door, see if that skeleton key works.
So, Thomas, in the door on the right side, is there just the door that Morgrim went through his first time here? Or is there, like, more doors in there?
There are more doors in there.
Okay, so
You
it
don't
doesn't...
remember exactly, but you know that you did make at least one decision between different possible doors.
Okay, so it's probably not, like, the shortest path to, like, clear out, finish exploring.
Hard to say.
So we'll go ahead and go through the locked door, I guess. Morgrim doesn't have the key, so he can't do anything with that.
What about the right door people had me investigate?
Yeah, that was the one that I was asking if I thought I'd be like, if I like knew for a fact it'd be super short, but if it's not, Morgrim's perfectly happy to go along with a boy pip through this door.
Okay.
Akalupu wants someone to check for traps before he touches any of these doors.
I'll check the door that's locked.
All right, so you're going over. Well, you don't know if it's locked. You don't know. The
Well,
only door you know is not locked is the entrance to the pyramid because you've been through it, and the one to the north because you've been through it.
Yep. I'll check the left door then.
All right. Left middle, not left top, correct?
Yep.
All right, let's get that check. All right. As far as you can tell, the door is not trapped.
From what I can tell, the door's A-okay to be unlocked. Because I'm assuming while investigating, I saw that it was locked.
You don't know one way or another.
Okay. This door seems okay.
All right. Akalupu.
Are you guys able to like see that doors are locked through the UI? Is that how you're making assumptions?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a locked door symbol.
Okay, that's unfortunate because that should not be apparent just by looking at it.
Well, Akalupu is going to grab the door and jiggle it a little bit to see if
All
it's locked.
Now it is apparent that it is locked and it does not explode in your hand.
That's good. Akalupu is going to very slowly and kind of timidly put the key in the lock.
All right, remind me what the skeleton key does.
That's a good question. Let me find it.
Let's see. Activate interact frequency once per day. Trigger, you attempt to pick a lock but haven't rolled yet. Effect, the key casts knock on the lock you're trying to pick. Let's see, knock. You make the target easier to open. Knock grants a +4 status bonus to any creature that tries to open the target door, lock, or container with an athletics or thievery check. You can attempt a thievery check to open the target as part of the casting knock, and you add your level even if you're untrained. So if you are going to activate the key, you are going to be able to attempt to pick the lock with a +4 bonus.
All right. Does anybody have a higher skill than I do?
Phoebe is gonna be pretty good at picking locks.
All right. I am going to hand her the key.
All right, make sure you remove the skeleton key from your inventory, Anna, and Faith, please add it to yourself. And go ahead and roll thievery with a +4.
Don't know how to add stuff to my inventory.
All right. Well, you go to the build tab.
And it's under magic items.
Yes. So go to the build tab, then go to. So first, load your full character sheet if you haven't already. Then go to the build
Yes, I
tab instead of
have.
the play tab. And then under magical and alchemical items, open that up. And then magic items, click the plus. Then in the search bar, search for skeleton key. It is a
Getting
normal
there.
skeleton key and not greater, and you can add it for free. So I will go ahead and do that for you real quick.
While we're there,
Thank you.
do you happen to remember where life shot and ooze ammunition are, Thomas? I couldn't find them.
Probably alchemical items.
I will try
Might
to
be
find
under weapons for the ammunition, though.
it. I couldn't find it under weapons. But my Hero Lab UI is being stupidly slow. Like it takes 5 seconds to open up anything I click on. So
Yeah. Okay, life shot is definitely not under alchemical. Neither is ooze ammunition. For now, let me just send you the wiki pages, and then we can try to find them later. All right, Faith, are you gonna roll thievery to try and open the door?
Yeah.
All right, please do so.
roll the dice. Roll the dice.
All right, here
It's working
is
on pulling it up.
life shot. And it was moderate ooze ammunition. There is ooze ammunition.
I got a 17.
All right. Does that include the +4?
No, just the +1.
Okay,
+1 item bonus.
Okay, so you are activating the skeleton key, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so that was actually 21.
I believe so.
All right. You stick it in. You hear the key as you activate it makes an audible knocking noise, and you can hear and feel the internal mechanisms shifting slightly, as though the pins and tumblers were being moved around to make them less precise and easier to pick, as it's easier to find those gaps and get pins to stick. You work through each pin one at a time, but unfortunately something seems to be eluding you about this lock, and you are unable to pick it open.
Phoebe tells the group, this lock seems to be helping me open it, but it's not unlocking.
That's strange.
I know, right?
On both counts.
All right, well, the door remains locked and still
Mm.
unexploded.
Akalupu does have big axe weapon. Just saying.
I'll stand back.
So the doors are made of stone, not actually wood. These are just the tiles that I have. So you can try.
Someone get Morgrim a pickaxe.
But I
Yeah,
just
I
wanted
think
to
we're
Harmful stereotype.
But yeah, just in the entrance of full transparency, I want to make sure you know that these are not wooden doors that you could just hack through with an axe.
I do
Yeah,
appreciate
I think
that.
we're better off going through the other door.
Yeah, we have one more door.
2 more doors actually,
Oh, for real?
because there's the one that almost blew Ip's head off.
Yeah, I wasn't counting that one.
Fair enough.
Let's see what's behind door number 5.
Is that one the one to the right? The mushroom door?
I assume that we're going to this door.
Yes.
Yep. Door on the right. You will remember that Riven described that room as having towers crackling with some sort of strange arcane energies. All right, you going to open it? Who is opening it, if so?
We should have
Grim
Phoebe
will
check her
open it.
traps again. I know that that's what
I
we've been
checked
doing.
all
Morgrim's
Wheel.
gonna go
Alright,
ahead and open
Too
it
late.
and step
Phoebe
in.
opened the door. It does not explode. However, you do see inside, indeed, strange towers crackling with arcane energies. Exactly as described.
Couldn't be any more
Is gonna
arcane
step in.
energy.
You will actually recognize these on your trek into the pyramid. You saw a few of these towers set up outside of the pyramid, and they were occasionally being struck by lightning from the omnipresent storm above you.
Hmm.
Aside from that, the room seems rather Spartan. There are, as far as you can see, 4 of these towers. Does anyone want to roll perception?
I do.
I'll do it.
24.
Morgrim will also be looking around. Should I roll that, Thomas, or do you need to roll that for me?
Roll what? Just perception?
Yeah.
In this case, you can roll it yourself. So you do not see any other signs of living creatures or anything else particularly unusual in the room. The
23
towers
for
themselves
perception.
are strange enough. Morgrim, you do not spot anything either.
17 for perception.
You don't see any creatures in here either.
Yeah.
I assume you are all just looking for threats. That's correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna step over here and investigate this tower.
Okay.
Don't want to
How
get
close?
too close though.
Okay, so keeping a healthy distance, you do feel the hair on the back of your neck starting to stand up. It's a rather similar sensation to what you remember at the Mother's Tower back on Dino Island. And you can see these arcing bolts of energy seem to slowly reach toward you. But keeping your distance, they don't seem to quite reach you.
I wonder if these are powering something.
Morgrim's just gonna take a distant look at it with his crafting check to see if he can identify what they're made of. If there's anything unusual. Yeah, he got a 13.
Okay, especially given the distance you are at, you are not able to make out too much. These are definitely metals. Some of them are metals you don't recognize, but you are not able to tell anything beyond the fact that their hue and reflection seems odd compared to what you're used to. All right, well, With the three of you in the room and everyone else lagging behind, there is suddenly an audible thud as the door slams shut behind you.
Oh no!
Trapping you alone in the room, and we are going to be rolling some initiative. Let me go ahead and add something to the stage.
Wheel and danger.
I see. All right, it's not letting me do it the way I want to. Give me 1 second. Okay. And then I will add it to the stage from here. Actually, 1 sec. Let me just check. There we go. And add to stage. All right. So, anyone rolling anything other than perception for their initiative?
Can I use my athletics, to kind of get my armored butt into gear?
I'll give you that as you, flinch away from the towers, presumably.
Yeah, and of
You
course,
can't move yourself now, Abe. You had to do that earlier if you wanted to. You're still way over there. Gotta pay attention.
That might be better for us.
Also,
How the last fight went.
True.
Also, of course, athletics for getting my shield into position and all that. So roll an athletics check and let you know, or
No,
what?
it'll be rolled in Hero Lab. All right. Stealth does not work for Phoebe, considering the situation, so I'm going to switch that over to Perception. And if no one else is going to... What was that, Anna?
But Akaluku wants to use athletics too.
All right, I will give it to you as you are suddenly startled into action as the door slams shut, separating you from the rest of the group. So, let's see, athletics. All right. Anyone else?
Am I rolling initiative because the door is closed?
No, Hero Lab will roll initiative. But yes, everyone is now in initiative order,
Oh, okay.
regardless of which side of the door you're on. All right, then we will start initiative. First up is unfortunately the trap that you have walked headlong into. So let's see. Everyone, please roll for me. Well, the three of you that are inside of the room, I should say. Please roll for me a will save.
And no, fear effect or anything?
Nat 20.
Noise.
I got a 24. And this isn't a fear effect, correct?
Let me check for you. So, let's see. Creatures must attempt a DC 24, and this is a fear effect.
Okay, so I got a 24, and so my success is a critical success because it is a fear effect.
All right. And then Phoebe, did you already roll or
Have 12.
12?
I got 12.
All right. So we have two critical successes, meaning that Ip and Morgrim, you are unaffected. Meanwhile, with a 12, unfortunately, that is a critical failure. So
Yeah, no, I figured as much when I rolled a 3.
Yeah. So Phoebe, you are going to be taking double damage, and please also give yourself frightened 3, and you are fleeing for 1 round.
Okay, how much damage and how do I apply frighten?
I will roll the damage in 1 sec. Oof, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt a lot.
She figured when she rolled a 3.
Yeah,
Can you spend hero points on a will save?
Yes.
I don't have any.
Oh
You should have
no.
one.
Did you already spend a hero point this game?
No.
So do you remember at the beginning of every session where I say, everyone, as always, please reset your hero point pools to 1?
I don't know that you did say that this session, to
I
be
Yeah,
fair.
definitely,
I didn't.
I am pretty
Oh.
sure I did. We can check the YouTube video later to be certain, but I am
True.
95% certain I did.
Fair enough. I also had to reset my hero points after the fact. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have 0. I should have 1.
Yeah, I can't be 100% because this is me
But
we're
that could
talking
be-
about, but I am pretty sure.
Listen, I'm just saying, mistakes were made. It doesn't matter whose mistake.
Yeah, but yes,
But
Phoebe, you should have 1
Phoebe,
hero
use it.
point if you want to use that because this is gonna hurt.
So how would I use it?
Reduce your hero points to 1 or to 0 because you've spent it, and you can re-roll.
Okay. 26.
Let's go.
All right. That is going to be much better. That is a success. So you are now only frightened 1, and you are going to take half damage, which, trust me, you are going to be happy for. Let's see. Plus, what's the bonus again? I'm having so much trouble finding it. I'm blind, I tell you. There we go, 18. All right, so instead of taking 56 damage, you are going to be taking 14.
Cool. And how do I apply the frightened thing?
Go back to the play tab if you're not already
Okay.
there. Scroll down. On the left side, there is a section called Modifications. Under Conditions, click the plus and add Frightened and set its value to 1.
Okay.
So, frightened. You are gripped by fear and struggle to control your nerves. The frightened condition always includes a value. You take a status penalty equal to this value to all of your checks and DCs unless specified otherwise. At the end of each of your turns, the value of your frightened condition decreases by 1.
Got it.
All right, so Ghostly Choir has taken its turn. Let's go ahead and set it as acted. Ip. The room. Oh, I should have actually described this trap. So the door slams shut, and the whole room is suddenly flooded with pale blue lights. That seem to shift and swirl as if they were a physical mist, though there isn't any. There isn't enough moisture in the air for it to be a physical mist. It seems to be spreading from the walls, from the floor, and from the towers themselves, and you can see within the mist the twisting, churning faces screaming out in agony, and it was a deafening scream from all of these faces that has sent Phoebe, looks quite frightened and seems to be feeling a bit worse for wear. You, however, perhaps thanks to your, miraculous gift of hearing, or perhaps because of the deafened effect and the fact that you're not actually hearing any of this directly. Really, it's just that you rolled a critical success. But if you hadn't rolled a critical success, we would have had to talk about perhaps getting a bonus for your current deafened condition. But yeah, so you seem unaffected, and Morgrim also, though he is shaking his head slightly, seems to be built of sterner stuff.
All right. I want to get out of here. I'm gonna step back and try to open this door. Or am I allowed to go there if Morgrim's there? Do I have to go here?
You cannot occupy the same space as another player, but yes, you can. So you can move through the an ally's space, but you cannot occupy it. So yes, you would need to move there, but you can reach the door. So that is one action to move, a second action to interact with the door. It is locked.
Oh no.
So you have one action remaining. Would you like to perhaps roll something to try and figure out what's going on here for you?
I want to roll something to open this door.
All right, that would be thievery or athletics.
Let's take a look. Neither of those is very good. Let's try thievery.
All right.
Big money. 11.
All right, you try to jam, a hairpin in the lock to see if that'll do anything, and it does absolutely nothing.
Oh no. Well, that was a good turn. Good turn, you guys.
All right. So that is Ip's turn. Mako, you are on the other side. You can hear yelling and screaming coming from the other side. Only one of them seems to be a voice that you recognize. You do hear a bit of scratching at the door as well. But otherwise, you are now on the other side of this door, which is slammed shut, separating you from the three inside.
Aww. And it's a stone door, so I don't feel like throwing a bomb at it is gonna do anything. I guess I could.
You could.
Could I try and open the door, I guess, from this side?
Yeah, you can give it either thievery or athletics. Let me check what how long an action to pick locks is, though.
Okay.
Because I don't know if that's something you can do with a single action, technically.
Mm.
Pick a lock is 2 actions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for confirming that. So, 2 actions, which means technically that Ip couldn't have, but that's fine. You rolled an 11
I failed
anyway.
I tried to rush it. I didn't take my 2 actions, so it didn't work.
Exactly. Yes, so if you would like to spend 2 of your actions to attempt to pick the lock, you may do so.
Because do I get 2 actions per turn?
You get 3 actions per turn. So if you try to pick the lock, that will leave you with 1 action remaining.
Okay, well, including my plus 11 to thievery, I got a 23.
All right. That is unfortunately insufficient, though only just barely.
Oh man.
You seem to be stymied. Something seems to have been jammed in the lock from the other side.
Jason and I are like bumping tools.
Exactly.
And then I still have 1 action, but I'm panicking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe I'll spend that other 2 seconds panicking.
That is valid. If you would like to prepare an action, you may do so. Otherwise, you can definitely end your turn.
Say more about that preparing an action.
So when you prepare an action, you basically give me a trigger and an action that you will take if that trigger happens. So for example, let's say you were in front of a door that just got pushed open, but you don't see any figures, and you're like pretty sure that a skeleton's going to walk through it. You could have a prepared action that says, if an enemy walks through the door ahead of me, I am going to spend my action attacking it with my bow, or I will throw a bomb at it, or something along those lines. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah. So I could prepare an action like if the door opens, then I would
try to pull people outside.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was looking at my stuff to see if I have anything that I could like jam into like the door opening, to make sure that it stays open. Is there debris, I guess, in the room? Yeah, but I can't like go get it because then that's actions.
Yeah, that would take you an
Um,
action to go get it.
Okay, well, instead of preparing an action, I guess. Oh wait, I don't think I can even go that far. This is bad because I can't see very well because I think everybody who has.
Yep. The only source of light is Mano Anui, who was just off in La La Land on the entire other side of the room.
Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. When we were like deciding what kind of light source we were gonna all have, I was like, why would I need a light source? We're all gonna be together. We don't all need light sources.
Yeah, if only y'all had stuck together. I
Never
gave
split the
you
party.
so long to go inside of that room. People were looking at towers. Like I was waiting. I was patient to let you guys get together.
No one was blaming you for this, Thomas. Yeah. If the door opens, then I'm going to pull somebody back to this side of the door.
All right.
If anyone is within reach, like of my arms.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. So, prepared action set. And if the door opens, we will trigger it. Mano Anui, it's your turn.
Alright, Mano Anui.
You just you are drunkenly spinning around trying to keep your balance as a loud thud happened behind you as you were wandering aimlessly about the room, thinking to yourself how much you hated the smell.
I'm gonna investigate that thud.
Yeah, and you do also hear very muffled what sounds like screaming from that direction.
They're drama queens. I'm sure they're overreacting. So I'm gonna use 2 actions to get to here.
All right.
Oh my gosh, someone's calling me on Discord. Why?
Dun, dun, dun.
And then I am going to see. Well, I guess I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna take an action and be like, hey, what are you guys doing?
All right. Speaking is a free action, so you can absolutely, as long as you're not, delivering an entire soliloquy, you are free to just speak in combat.
Hey. Okay. What are you guys doing?
Lupu is going to answer. Get your butt over here. They got locked on the other side of the door.
Mom, you're embarrassing me.
Basically, Mom, you should have just broke it up. Why did you just swallow?
Hold the phone, you miss. I don't like your tone. I don't know what you've done with your friends, but
All right, now it's too much talking for a free action. So take action or end your turn.
well, I don't know what's going on. So I'm just gonna be
What's
like,
the battle? We're gonna have a whole conversation.
yeah, I don't know what's going on.
All right, well, Mano Anui spends the rest of their turn being confused then. Phoebe.
Well, I'd assume that I would try and pick the doll to get out by, taking Jason's lockpick out and both.
All right. So you are going to spend an action removing Jason's lockpick from the door?
Yeah.
All right. So that's 1 action. You have 2 left.
How many actions did we decide trying to pick the doll was?
2 actions.
Okay, I'm gonna use my last 2 actions using thievery to try and pick the doll.
All right, go for it.
Uh, 25 because of my -1 from being frightened.
All right. Unfortunately, you are not able to pick the lock. It feels like you should have been able to, but the lock seems to be damaged. Also, like 3 people are trying to stick their tools in all at the same time right now, technically.
We are crushing this.
All right, well, that is my turn.
That is your turn. Morgrim. Can you be the voice of reason here and get people on track to a positive trajectory?
I'm going to use my perception to try and see if I can find out where this is coming from.
All right.
Here, Lep. I want to roll perception.
Dun, dun, dun.
There we go. Now it'll let me. 23.
All right, so you can see that it seems to be seeping through the floor and the walls, and in a way that is clearly not of this physical dimension.
So next what I want to do is I want to roll a crafting to assess the durability of the door.
All right, go for it.
I already assume it's gonna be like a ridiculous athletics check to break it open, but at least this will confirm it for me.
Yeah.
24.
All right, so you start working along the edges of the door, and the thing is of a very high quality, thick wood stone slab. You could certainly break through it given enough time, but that's the kind of thing that is measured in minutes, not rounds. All right, you have 1 action remaining.
So where did we decide this was coming from? Or
It's-
could we not figure it out?
It seems to be coming through the floor and the walls as if it were a ghostly apparition just floating through ethereally.
So speaking's a free action, correct?
Yeah, as long as you, once again, do not start going on too long.
Okay, Morgrim is gonna shout at as loud as he can, "Get your picks out the door!" So
Helpful.
basically, get your lock picks out of the door. Next, I'd like to look something up, so just give me a second.
That's a quick question. Can anybody on this side hear like the voices or not?
Yes, you can
Can you
hear screaming coming from the other side. One of the voices seemed like a startled shriek from Phoebe when she took that damage and got frightened 1. And you definitely would have just heard Morgrim's deep bellowing voice reverberating through the door.
We don't hear like the choir voices.
You do hear the choir voices. That is the
okay.
screaming, one of which is Phoebe.
Oh.
Because Morgrim and Ip were fine, so they're not screaming. It's the choir and Phoebe who are screaming.
I see.
Could I use my diplomacy to calm Phoebe down if she still has the frightened condition?
You could, however, it's already gone because it reduces by 1 at the end of her turn. So she already is calm.
Okay.
For now.
Could I use diplomacy to comfort Phoebe to give her a bonus against any more incoming fear-based will saves?
I'd give that to you.
Okay, I'd like to roll to try and do that.
All right, go for it.
So I got a 21, and Morgrim's gonna say, just calm down, lass. We got out of this once, we'll do it again.
All right, go ahead and when you roll for the choir next time, try to remember that you have a +2.
Okay.
All right, so that is Morgrim's turn. Akalupu. Not sure how you got the lowest initiative, to be honest.
Oh, especially using my athletics.
He was distracted looking for his mom.
Fair enough.
Like, where is Mono Nui?
Come on! Mom, stop talking to the pillar! Mom!
All right.
Akalupu is going to try to break down the door.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength check. Or would that be athletics? Let me see.
No.
Yeah, force open is athletics, so go for it.
Ooh,
Yay.
come on, go away. Click on this thing. 5 seconds does not seem that long until that's how long it takes for your computer to respond to you.
Yeah.
Uh, 28.
Okay. Let's see. So it says that forcing open a stone or iron door would be a legendary difficulty. Trying to remember what DC that is.
I don't even know if you're allowed to attempt legendary checks without being legendary in that skill.
Okay. And yeah, you can still attempt it. At least in cases like this, like you can attempt to smash the door open. It's just not it's not as likely. What did you get again, Anna?
28.
All right, yeah, you slam your shoulder against the door and you got a little boo-boo on your shoulder now. But the door does not care.
Do it again.
Not helpful.
Come on, Akalupu, use your head.
No. Let me just see if I've got. What does this do? Let me see. Item. Let's see what you do.
What item are you trying to look at, Anna?
Sorry, I was trying to see what one of my items did. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to break the door open again.
All right, go ahead and roll athletics again, or strength, but I assume athletics is a much higher roll for you.
Yes, it is. Come on, roll. Uh, 22.
All right, still just bouncing off.
And then I have one more action, right?
Correct.
Cool.
Go around again.
23.
23?
Yep.
Still just bounce off. Your shoulder is definitely hurting now.
It's graduated from a boo-boo to an ouchie.
Exactly. Okay. Definitely a bit of a rough cliffhanger, but we have been going for about 2 hours. Do people want to try and see this through or wrap up now?
I'd be good with wrapping this up now, but definitely still good with continuing if that's what people want.
Anyone else have a preference?
I'm good either way. I mean, Mono Inui's probably just gonna like shoot it with a lightning bolt or something when she
not Ray of
understands what's
Frost?
going on. Oh no, you're right. She's gonna strike it with Ray of Frost. Thank you.
I'm actually good to keep going for a little while, I think.
All right, then let's continue a little longer.
Let's do it.
The ghostly choir is once again up. Everyone, please give me a will save. Roll good.
Ah,
Where would you flee?
Around the room like a chicken with its head cut off.
Nice.
I'm using a
28.
hero point.
28, so again, a critical success for Morgrim.
All right.
21.
Okay. Nip's
I got
using
a
a hero
23.
point. Oh, sorry. Only people inside need to roll.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't do this the first time.
No. My apologies. I should have specified.
No worries.
We'll say 13, 28.
Okay. Once again, Morgrim and Ip are largely unaffected. You did roll a 20, is that correct, Morgrim?
I rolled a 29, so...
I mean, on the
critical
die.
success.
Naked die, what was the number?
Naked die, let's see. I closed it, so I don't know. Wait a minute.
All right,
I do
can
know.
pull it
I
up.
got
Let
an
me check.
18.
Okay, so not a
I got an
critical
18.
success.
The critical success is because any fear effects are critical successes as long as I get a
Oh.
success.
Right. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so Morgrim, critical success, unaffected. Ip, success, so you're going to take half damage and become frightened 1. Phoebe, you failed, so you're going to take full damage and become frightened 2.
Yay.
So let's get this damage rolled and see what it is you're taking.
Let's see if I'm alive.
All right, so Phoebe, you take 42 points of damage. Ip, you take 21.
I had 20 full health left.
All right, so Phoebe shrieks louder even than these ethereal figures around you, and you can see her eyes roll into the back of her head, and she drops onto the ground, seemingly lifeless.
Can I cast Protector's Sacrifice as a reaction?
If that is a reaction spell, then definitely.
An ally within 30 feet takes damage. You protect your ally by suffering in their stead. Reduce the damage the ally would take by 3. Heightened to level 3 is 9.
All right,
Still
and
be
then
dead.
and then you take that 9 damage.
Wait, you would still be dead if I redirect 9 damage?
Yeah, she had like
Yeah.
20 something health left.
I had
24.
20 full health left.
Okay, so I probably shouldn't spend a focus point to take more damage for no reason.
Yeah,
Don't.
yeah, that seems unwise.
How much damage am I taking? I forget.
You are going to be taking 21.
Youch.
Yeah, big ouch.
A little bit more than a boo-boo.
And that was with a success. My god.
Yep. Yeah, it rolled really high. It rolled 42. All right, so that
Cheese and
is
crackers.
exactly. All right, so that is the Ghostly Choir's turn. Ip, Would you like now to spend an action to maybe roll something to figure out what's going on and what you could maybe do about this?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and roll religion for me.
Religion.
Correct.
I got... What's my religion bonus? It's probably really high. A 23.
All right. So you recognize this, perhaps from some of the lore of, what an angry ancestor spirits could do to you or something along those lines. But it seems like it also seems rather similar to a story you remember your parents telling you about how one time as they were on Dino Island, they were assaulted by these strange singing that was, I don't think was it doing damage? Was it taking over people's minds? The one we had to disrupt with the little flute thingy?
I think it was doing both.
All right. Well, anyway, so you remember that story, and this seems to be rather the same thing, where perhaps you could disrupt it with with another tune, or if you rolled well enough on a religion check, you could you ritually silence the spirits.
Well, let's kill him with kindness. It's religion time.
All right. I will allow if Morgrim, if you want to convey this to Morgrim and have him assist you in the action, I will allow that.
We need to pray.
Okay, Morgrim will assist then.
All right, go ahead and roll religion as well.
No. I got a 14.
Oof.
You need to
17.
pray harder.
17.
All right. Even with the assist, you feel there are little waves in the spectral mist around you. It seems to be having some effect, but it's not strong enough. Pray harder. You still have one action left.
Is Phoebe dying? Should I stabilize instead?
You cannot ascertain that at the moment. Not unless you want to. Well, actually, you would need two actions because you would have to do one to move over there and a second to do a heal check on her. So.
Okay, let's pray harder. Use my different die. Oh yeah. 26.
Nice.
I got a 20 to assist.
Dang. All right.
Should have used that die from the beginning.
So
that was the one that would have crit failed my will save. So I've been flip-flopping.
Fair. So if you get down on both knees and clutching your, bit of the Mother's Tower, your talisman in both hands, you loudly proclaim your supplications before the Great Mother, begging her aid and beneficence in your hour of need. And you can feel the holy energies emanating from you being channeled from the Great Mother and then out from you. Not the same as like a heal, not positive energy, but something different. But it doesn't seem quite enough because with a 26, you needed a 28. But however, Morgrim, setting aside for a moment his grudges and his general xenophobia, and he starts muttering hoarsely under his breath, rather begrudgingly, some chants to the great sculptor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you feel as the two of you are continuing to chant and pray, these ethereal figures around you begin to waver and shake, and with one final screech of dismay and anger and despair, they suddenly evaporate, shooting off in all directions, and the room clears, and the door unlocks itself as you hear a click behind you.
Oh, thank God.
And this seems like a good place to wrap up. People
That's
agree?
good to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We'll just have to remember to freaking revive Phoebe when we come back.
Yeah, exactly. Phoebe is on
Poor
the
thing.
ground with her eyes, the whites of her eyes showing. Her eyes are completely rolled up in the back of her head, and she's like foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, just having a normal one.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up as always. Let's start with Morgrim. What did he learn?
Morgrim learned that the traps are much worse than he ever could have imagined, and it is only a matter of time before he falls into a pit of snakes.
Yep. Perfectly sized snakes to fit through the gaps in your armor.
Why is it always snakes?
Exactly. All right. What about Phoebe? What has she learned?
Phoebe is not as strong as she would like to be.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you're playing a squishy class, you have a decent amount of health, but you took some
It's
hits.
a squishy. You took a lot of damage and were down to 20 health. I start off at 21.
Oh yeah, you have a lot more hit points. Phoebe has 58 hit points, even though technically
Jeez.
that's because she doesn't have. I still need to figure out what's wrong with her settings. She doesn't have stamina like everyone else. She only has hit points.
Yeah.
So
If you included
technically,
my stamina to my hit points, I would have 36.
yeah, exactly. No, but you are a witch. So
You got a witch, Harry.
and you're also an elf. So yeah, your hit points pretty small. Your con is also very low. That's another reason why you have so few hit points.
Mm.
All right. What about Ip? What did he learn?
Not so much learned, but reaffirmed that the Great Mother is good
Absolutely.
and will help us to triumph in this extremely treacherous pyramid.
Right? Saved you from ghosts, saved your hearing. If only someone else, some elf had also taken the Great Mother's blessing and could take advantage of all these nice things.
If only.
Abe's not even gonna react to that. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm waiting for my learning moment.
Fair enough.
That'll be good.
All right. Let's do Mako next. What has she learned?
That she should stick with the party more closely.
I don't know.
Well, you
Fair.
kind of didn't want to be in that room with us.
I was gonna say, it
Yeah.
kind of turned out good.
Right. I was gonna say, depending on your perspective, like you weren't in there with the ghosts, but at the same time, you weren't in there to help them with the ghosts. So mixed
Hey.
blessing.
But yeah, what kind of a party member would I be if I was like, oh, thank God I wasn't in there with you guys?
I think that's called being Mono Anui.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you
what
just
kind
wait
of
till
party
Mono
member
Nui.
indeed?
Just wait till Mono Nui's turn.
All right. Let's save Mono Anui for last, just for fun. Let's do Akalupu. What did he learn?
Akalupu learned that doors are hard, and sometimes splitting the distance between the two halves of the party still means he's going to end up on the wrong side of the door.
Yeah. All right. And last but not least, what did Mono Anui learn?
Well, let me tell you, Mono Nui learned sometimes it pays to get raucously drunk and wander the halls, because then you're not in rooms with, terrifying ghost choirs.
There you go. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you all had a great time. I know I did, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye.
Bye.